Inside the 20 by 20 is a dynamic wrestling podcast offering fans a comprehensive recap of the week's top matches, promos, and angles. With new episodes released weekly, this podcast offers wrestling fans with a perfect recap of all the action. Inside the 20 by 20 is a GDP production and brought to you by the TCR Network. Go to tcrnetwork.co for more information. Step into the ring with TCRnetwork.co, your ultimate destination for everything pro wrestling. Whether you're a diehard fan or new to the squared circle, TCRnetwork.co has you covered from the latest news, in-depth analysis, and it is also the proud host of Inside the 20 by 28 Pro Wrestling Podcast. From breaking stories to match highlights, get all the action you crave in one place. Join the community, stay ahead of the game, and never miss a moment of the excitement. Visit tcrnetwork.co, where wrestling lives. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the 20 by 20. I'm your host, Mike Gambino, and I'm here with the God Mod Cross.
Yo.
The prodigal son, Chris Santiago.
Yo, yo, yo.
And today we're diving deep into the biggest event of the summer, AEW All In. But before we jump in, a quick reminder to check out the tcrnetwork.co for all your latest wrestling news, exclusive content, and more episodes of Inside the 20 by 20. You don't want to miss out, so make sure to head over there right after this show. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you won't miss any of the exciting content. All right, so before we get into AEW All In, is there anything you guys would like to talk about on the WWE side of things this past week?
SmackDown boys.
SmackDown, Raw, anything, guys? No, don't jump all at once.
Hold on. So can someone explain to me how Solo was able to take Jacob's tag team title and give it back to Tonga Loa?
Because he's a tribal chump.
Yeah, but there is no freebird rule. So how does that work?
Well, they used to do it with the New Day.
It works for the storyline.
Right, but the New Day was defending under the freebird rule.
Mm-hmm. Well, then storyline
just said, "Hey, yo, Jacob, you can't have the belt no more. Just give it away."
By the way, if you're very young and you don't know what the freebird rule is, please Google it.
Damn.
No, let's not say Google. We can explain it. It's if you're in a faction of more than like 3, usually. If you're a faction, if you have the stipulation on, you can have someone else in your place to defend your tag team championships. So, for example, if the 3 of us are in a faction, myself, Cross, and Champ, and we have the tag team gold, I get injured, then we can have Cross or Champ step in my place in lieu of myself, and we can still defend our tag team championship.
You can watch our faction on Tuesday Night Titans. So, hold on. So. According to WWE, the Freebird rule is a stipulation that allows any 2 members of a larger team to defend a specific championship. That is verbatim from the WWE website. Basically what you said, Chris. Mm-hmm. And there have been plenty of teams. There have been plenty of teams that have used it in the past as well.
Yeah, of course. But to take someone's side and say, "Hey, this is now yours because I need you to watch my back, and I can't afford to have you as a tag team chump."
Yeah, that's kind of messed up. Like Action Smash and Demolition, Crush joined Action Smash.
He kind of shitted on Tonga Loa and Tama Tonga when he said that. Like Jacob is more important than the tag team titles.
But I think that's always kind of been the case. And somebody on Twitter, I forgot when, but someone posted a video on Twitter of the night that Jacob Fatu debuted, and Solo welcomed in the ring and everything. They did the whole Bloodline 1 finger raise up and everything. That someone zoomed in on Tonga and Tala's face, where they looked like
I do remember,
concerned.
I saw that picture circulating.
So the fact that they took the belt off of him, and you can see even Tonga looked like why are you doing this? Like it looked like there was a discernment in there, and they played it off really, really well.
You mean it wasn't demure?
So, but my thing is, hold on. So Tonga,
It wasn't very
and Tama,
mindful.
Tama and Tonga are one bloodline, right? I'm not speaking of the bloodline, but like they're one bloodline. Isn't Solo and Jacob part of the same family?
Yes.
They're both Fatus. So
Yes, they're the Fatus.
And they're
that's where kind of I'm kind of confused with this whole storyline, because if like Solo and Tama and Tonga are gonna do their thing,
it's kind of racist because the WWE is making it seem like all the Island Boys are related.
that's what I'm trying to say. They're making it seem like they're all related right now.
Right.
When in reality, Solo, Jacob, and the Usos are all one family.
Right.
And The Rock and Tonga and Tama are not.
Tongan. They're
their own family. They're their own
different island.
They're the other island.
I can give you guys the exact reason why.
Mm.
King Haku was like the best. So
Haku was he used to scare me back in the day. He was Bang in WCW.
Ming, yes.
I will say one final. I will say one final point, and this is the only reason, and I think it's the easiest reason why they did it. Heat, baby.
Sure.
Okay, so let's go on to AEW.
All the heat on Solo.
All right, so Tony Khan said, because this is going into the first match, that the FTW Championship is a joke title, and he is not happy with it. Moving into Hook beating Chris Jericho and becoming the FTW champion yet again, I kind of feel a little bit disrespected from that, because I love Taz. Taz, homeboy New Yorker.
I understand his feeling.
But the FTW title has a longer lineage than any AEW title.
Right.
So
I understand his concerns, considering the fact that it is a non-sanctioned AEW title. It's not their belt. It just was something to create a storyline back in the Team Taz days, and it just like got so big that he had no choice but to keep it around.
But he's also the boss. He can get rid of it whenever he wants.
Right. I was going to say the exact same thing.
You can't just get rid of something without a storyline, because then people start asking questions. And it's bad enough that people think he doesn't know what he's doing.
Vince did it all the time.
Speaking
Vince didn't just get rid of a title.
Plenty of titles just vanished.
Like what?
The Cruiserweight title? The Cruiserweight Championship?
It didn't vanish. He retired it.
Yes, it did. He
retired it.
Okay.
How about this one? How about this? The greatest Royal Rumble Championship.
Well, that's the.
Okay, that's a good example.
Braun Strowman ate the belt.
One and
Okay?
done.
He ate the belt. He got the belt. He got on the plane. He got hungry. He ate it.
All right. So, what did you guys think of the match? Let's get straight back into the match. Hook versus Jericho. Hook winning, bringing the belt back to Papa Taz.
So, I enjoyed the match. It was okay for what it was. We knew that the Learning Tree, the big Redwood, and the Bad Apple were going to interfere in the match as much as they did. The surprising part of the match, which made me giddy like a little girl, was seeing Taz get out from behind the commentary table and putting the Bad Apple in the Taz mission. It was sloppy as hell, but seeing Taz just do it just brought back that nostalgic feeling I had of ECW.
We needed that. We needed that nostalgia.
Yes, we did.
So it's always good to.
It, but like, I definitely agree with everything Cross has said. Like he said, it was an okay match for what it was. I personally would love to see Hook get away from the FTW title. It's been going on for over a year already.
Yeah.
Like, get him out of that. Get him into the TNT title picture. Get him into a tag team picture. Get something out of that FTW realm, out of his dad's title. Basically.
What I thought was going to happen after I saw Taz get involved in the match was that after Hook won, he would give his father back his belt and said, "I don't need this anymore."
That would have been nice. That would have been
perfect. They just hug it out and they just walk away.
Perfect retirement of the title.
Cool.
Right. I came full circle. I got it back, Dad. We did it. Take it home. Take care of it. Now it's time for me to move on into something better or something bigger.
Yeah. Because it's been over a year that Hook's been in that FTW title picture. And again, it's not even a sanctioned AEW title. Right. So I understand it gives him something big to do because it is his father's title. I get it entirely, but next chapter, please, for this kid. He's got a nice future. I want to see him shine a bit more than
That's
just the AEW title.
But what would you guys think? What would you guys think is next for Hook?
I want to see him feud with Jack Perry. No, Jack Perry.
All right, Perry.
Okay.
All right.
I want to agree with that, but only because I love what Jack Perry's doing with the TNT title. I don't want to see him go against Hook and then have Hook take an L.
Well, so again, I think it doesn't have to be a right away thing. It could be a long, drawn out storyline.
True.
Mm-hmm.
And they just start beefing with each other leading up to the next big pay-per-view. And then they can just do a series of back and forth.
Hey, Tony, if you're listening right now, please write some notes and let us know what you think.
And yes, my advice is not free, Tony, so, sign the check.
Also, Tony, if you are watching,
please do this
shout out
anyway.
by 20.
But all right, so wait, what were you guys saying? What's next for you say TNT title? Well, obviously, I guess that's the next step up is the TNT title, and then going above and beyond it.
I mean, because right now you have the Rainmaker as the
Continental champion.
Will Ospreay just got back the international title,
which we'll get into.
By the way, we'll get into it. Fantastic match.
That was a great match. Yes. And there's not much else besides ROH belts that no one really pays any attention to.
Which makes me mad a little bit low key because
it does.
I follow Athena. Specifically, I follow Athena still on Instagram, and she posted a picture like, "Oh my God, all ins today and everything." She's taking a selfie of herself from her couch watching it.
Right.
Like she is the ROH Women's Champion. That depresses me a bit.
And she's not on the card.
That's the problem. It's like you have two companies
sharing
under one guy.
So it's like
sharing in 9 matches.
Right, and you can't really put
or however
the mid card, not the mid card, but like I guess now the developmental company in with the main event.
Are we calling it developmental now?
Even though it's been longer running.
Ring of Honor?
I can't really say that it's not the big leagues because right now it's not. It's more indie, and that's okay.
But it's always been indie.
But it's like NXT. It's like NXT, whereas we have the main roster, then you have NXT.
So then, with that being said, speaking of another championship belt that was also on the line, the AEW World Trios Championship. I could sit here and name every wrestler in this matchup, but I'm not going to. But the participations were the House of Black, the
Patriarchy, the Bang Bang Gang, and the Blackpool Combat Club.
My
boy Claudio. I'm happy that he got a strap around his waist.
An AEW strap finally.
An AEW, yeah.
An AEW strap finally for the first time ever.
Yes, the first AEW.
Because when I ran into him, when I met him, he was ROH champion.
Yeah.
That was, I think it was a year or two ago. But they came out on top. I'm seeing pretty good results from this match. I'm hearing everyone's rating it anywhere from like a B to a B+. So what did you guys take from it?
The entrance gear of the House of Black was amazing.
Definitely a sick entrance.
Their gear was dope. Mm-hmm. Probably one of the best gears of the night.
Top 3, for sure.
Yeah.
In my opinion, top 3. Yeah, I love the way that they went about it, though. Like, it's just, especially because the reigning champs at the time, Christian and his little family, basically, the patriarchy, excuse me, that they obviously had Luchasaurus take a majority of the impact and left Christian like a little bit out of it, and we know why later, but they kind of left Christian like a little bit out of the book a little bit and let all these, let the young dudes do the whole TLC thing. Let them go, let them go over the whole entire thing.
Like TLC match though, like he is like the guy.
He was just there to supervise.
Yeah, listen.
Literally,
he deserves it.
Yeah.
He deserves it.
He's the godfather of TLC. Like, just let him watch from the sidelines. Don't hurt him.
Mm-hmm. But I do want to give props to Pac because him with the Blackpool Combat Club, it is a pairing that is immensely awesome. Just because I feel like, especially for a while, because of Bryan Danielson's, on and off injuries, and then a couple other people in there were going on and off, John Moxley being one of them as well. I feel like it is a great fit for him to be there
Mm-hmm.
because of his own edginess and attitude in it. I feel like he's a good mesh with the rest of those guys for that particular faction. So I love that they're having him in that, and I love that they now put the belts on them per result.
Like, honestly, I can see him meshing a lot better with the Blackpool Combat Club than he ever did with Penta and Rey Fenix.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it makes more sense to have him in that faction than it was to have him in the Death Triangle.
Now, but for me, it's like, like we just talked about that before. AEW is stacked with belts. Well, I have a trios tag team title as well as a regular tag team.
Because ROH
because it's popular in the because it's popular in the because it's popular in the indies. Like everyone, I mean, like Ring of Honor was the first to really make it a thing. Like the trios, but the
AEW had a trios tag.
Actually, no. I think it was Shakara that introduced their trio tags first.
Was it?
ROH? Yeah, I think it was Shakara.
Okay. I take back what I said then for that.
Shout
but still,
out to Mr. Quackenbush.
I guess. Listen, I love championship belts. I'm obviously a big championship belt guy.
No,
I just think
you are.
I just think the AEW is just kind of stacked right now.
That's news to me. I didn't know he
I don't.
What are you talking about? You're a belt guy. What are you talking about, dude? I thought there was a virtual background behind you.
And they don't even hold my pants up. Like, come on. Like, I got all these belts, but I got no belt buckle.
Anywho, let's talk about possibly the best match of the card.
Tell us.
All right, we're jumping into it already.
The AEW Women's World Championship.
Ooh,
Toni Storm versus Mariah May.
Exactly what I was.
Mariah is a star.
Yes,
absolutely.
She is.
Yeah, 100%.
And today only proved it even more. And it's like people might not believe she's ready, but that just turned everyone's heads the other way, like in a good way. Like, oh, like now she's got attention on her. This is a great win for her.
I'm not gonna lie, I did not expect Toni to lose,
dude,
because she's the hottest thing.
Just by watching Mariah May smack the color of her own mother's face,
mom,
you knew she was going over. There was no way in hell she was gonna lose.
That was nuts. That was so unneeded, but it also made it so much better.
So what do you rate? What would you guys rate the match?
This was the A+ match. This
was
the match.
I'll throw an A+ up there too for it. Yeah.
I mean, the match that followed it, unfortunately, could not cut the mustard.
Well, you can. It's hard to follow up stuff like that, and it sucks whenever you're put in that position. But you got to do the best that you can, I guess, in any profession. But it's just like when you have a match that's that good and that received by the crowd, like at that point you can't compare that. That's literally apples to oranges at that point.
Right, and let's talk about the fact that Toni Storm lost to her own finishing move.
Mm-hmm.
She lost to Storm Zero.
But I want to give, but like everyone's giving Toni a lot of credit for her acting skills, and today was even better when she had the shoe and she was ready to bust Mariah's face with it, and she couldn't. Like I was like, that's just storytelling at its absolute finest. And that's one thing I've always said that AEW has been missing is story. So I love that they're making it like a little more tied in, especially with their women's division, which has been also fairly criticized, has been lacking the last few years.
Even though it has one of the most stacked stories. Like this was the story of the year for AEW. I want to say easily the story of the year for AEW. You know, and for it to come to such a climactic, showdown at All In, it was and also the fact that May doesn't mind getting busted open.
No.
Which is awesome.
When she took the Storm Zero on the steel steps, that was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like you literally saw her head bounce off the steps.
Oh God, it killed me.
But now with this match being out of the way, do we see a rematch or do we see her go to another?
There has to be this has got to be a three. Can't be a one and done.
They're going to continue the storyline. I see Mina Shirakawa getting involved as well somewhere down the line. Divided between the woman, our former tag team partner, and the woman she respects. It's going to get dirty and it's going to get fun.
Yeah.
But with that said, I think we should definitely take a break here, just so that we can catch up with our own,
our well-beings.
Yes, because that was such an
awesome break.
We need to calm down a little bit, so we can jump back into it. So
that sounds like a plan. All right. We'll be right back with more Inside the 20 by 20. Step into the ring with TCRnetwork.co, your ultimate destination for everything pro wrestling. Whether you're a diehard fan or new to the Squared Circle, TCRnetwork.co has you covered from the latest news, in-depth analysis, and it is also the proud host of Inside the 20x28 Pro Wrestling Podcast. From breaking stories to match highlights, get all the action you crave in one place. Join the community, stay ahead of the game, and never miss a moment of the excitement. Visit TCRnetwork.co, where wrestling lives. All right, and we are back. We're jumping back into Wembley, and we're here for the three-way dance for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. FTR versus the Young Bucks versus the Acclaimed. My money was on the Acclaimed to come out on top. I can't stand when, the higher-ups just keep holding on to their titles. But you guys, tell me what you think of the match. I don't know. It upset me that the Acclaim didn't win.
Doesn't it just remind you of a certain individual in another company when they just keep holding on to their belts?
100%, yeah. And it's like, I understand.
Every big superstar did that in every organization. Whether it was Triple H or Hollywood Hulk Hogan or Jeff Jarrett in TNA.
And hey, every time of it, I did not like him. Except other than Triple H. I like Triple H. I like Triple H.
I like Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett's
good too. Yeah. But like when Hogan did it, I hated it. I was a Sting guy, I'm like, this is where I'm at with these guys now, right now. Like, listen, I get it. The Young Bucks, they're good. They're a great tag team. But do they need to be tag team champions?
Yes, of course.
Why?
Because they're the greatest tag team in the universe.
Oh.
Until Edge and Christian come back.
No, it's not going to happen.
Challenge them for the tag team championships.
I mean, think about it. Hold on. They've actually beaten the greatest tag team of all space and time. Brother Nero.
They beat the Hardys.
And Matt Hardy.
The broken
Matt Hardy.
The broken Hardys.
Yes.
So they have
that was actually really good.
They have beaten that team. So, give them their props.
That was actually really freaking good.
Thank you.
All right. I'll give them the. See, for me, I'm a non-nepotism kind of guy. Listen, if you're the boss, you shouldn't deserve everything.
Dude, everybody has nepotism.
No, hold on. I want to call him out. I want to call him out on that. Hold on. I want to call him out on that. If you're a non-nepotism kind of guy, you should have never been a fan of The Rock in the first place. Because he's nepotism. You should have never been a fan of Randy Orton. He's a nepotism.
Yeah, they are. There's a difference between nepotism, though, and there's a difference between, hey, I own a part of the company, then I am just, my dad was here too. But you're right, though. It's still part of nepotism.
If we're saying nepotism, I would say Triple H above all of them.
Mm-hmm.
The Rock, it wasn't nepotism. It's just he was money.
Up until now. Now it's nepotism. Now it's like, hey, listen.
Now he owns the stuff. Now he's part owner. You know what I'm saying? So now it's nepotism.
So his daughter's part of the whole nepotism ring.
Now Randy Orton had to climb back up after screwing up so much.
Very true.
Which he did, and I adore him for that.
So that's not nepotism. I mean, yeah, anyone else would have gotten fired, but he's been suspended a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Back to the card. back to the card.
Listen, the people like to listen to the rants, all right? But back to the card. You're right.
If you saw the Sergeant Pepper entrance gear that the Young Bucks had on, you would understand why they deserve to go over.
The Sergeant Pepper.
The Sergeant Pepper entrance gear that the Young Bucks had on, you knew they were going to go over because they are greatness.
For our viewers and listeners, I am in a room every single week with a bunch of New Yorkers. I am the only Floridian in his entire.
New Yorkers. He's already talking like one of us. Next thing, when I run into you when I come see you in a couple of months, I'm gonna bring you a nice bacon, egg, and cheese.
With salt, pepper, ketchup.
Salt, pepper, ketchup. Only way to go.
Anyway,
right back to the EVPs winning another match and retaining their titles.
I was kind of disappointed.
So was I.
No, shut up. I was kind of disappointed with Max Caster's rap. I I kind of feel like Platinum Max Caster, excuse me, has been lacking lately when it comes to his rapping.
Do you think
He's gotten so much trouble lately.
I was gonna say, so they definitely told him to tone it down.
Yeah, I think that's
sure.
exactly what happened, and it's like taken away from that character.
True.
Because that was always his character. His character was the unhinged coming of Dr. Thugonomics, John Cena. And then all of a sudden, no, because you're making too many political references. You're making too many, like you're making Vince McMahon as part of one of your bars. Like it was just not gonna fly anymore, unfortunately, because it's just different times, different eras. You can't make battle raps anymore a thing.
Even though you
can make battle raps. You just got to be careful on what you say on live television.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just like but don't forget we used to have the Voodoo Kin Mafia though. Remember that?
Yeah, VKM.
VKM. But it was Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Named after him, literally. What were you saying about the Usos?
Well, no, I was just saying
another nepotism group.
Yeah, right. I enjoy the Usos.
That's what
I was like, the best example I was going to give with like how to do battle raps while still being a little edgy. New Day and Usos, their battle rap they had back in like 2017.
Yo, that was bad though. Like,
yeah.
When listen, I don't even want to bring it up on. I don't even want to bring it up on the podcast. I'm not even going to talk.
Anyway, let's get back to.
I'm not even going to talk about. Yeah, bring it back.
I was going to say that alongside with Champ, I was really pulling for the Acclaimed also. But then when I thought about it afterwards, I was like, they had a big dub last year in All In. They had a huge match with the I think it was their trios tag match.
Trios, yeah.
That they had, so I get why they couldn't have another W in a row at Wembley, but also like low key, I am big fan of both of them. So whatever.
Everybody loves the Acclaim, and that's okay. But don't sleep on the Young Bucks.
How could we sleep on the Young Bucks? They're reminding us every week that they're the
every week. Yeah.
Damn right.
They're every week, and they reminded us for years on being the elite.
Oh, but actually, hold on.
I love that podcast. Shout out to being the elite.
But quick. Speaking of being EVPs and so on and so forth, and All In and all that other stuff. Did you did see how they used Cody Rhodes's image when they talked about the creation of AEW? How dope! That was pretty dope. Which was great. I wanted to say it was just great. It was great seeing Cody, honored in a sense.
You can't deny history.
You can't erase
history. Cody was one of the founding fathers of AEW. So it's only fitting they put him in there. And I mean, come on. Wasn't WWE a week ago showing Chris Jericho in a highlight package?
Very true.
Yeah.
Like, just because he's in AEW, like, they avoided him for so long when he went to AEW originally. And I know AEW is doing the same with Cody. That they were, like, cropping him out of shots. They were trying to not make mentions of them.
Like Triple H said, I don't know what this forbidden door you're talking about. We don't follow such nonsense here.
They just don't exist in my universe.
Yeah.
I am the game.
And what was he saying?
Right. $2. So what do you guys? So what'd you guys rate? What'd you guys rate that match? Since you guys have three-quarter chubs for the EVPs.
It was a good match. I love when Max Caster joined in on the EVP trigger. And then hit the Shatter Machine with Wheeler Yuta. I thought that was the best.
All right, I've been seeing people rating it a B. I guess I'll throw a B at it.
I was gonna say I give it a B. It was a solid. It was a solid three-way tag match as always. I mean, you have three great teams. It was never gonna go bad in the first place.
Nah, never.
So then, all right. So after that match, we're moving on to the next Casino Gauntlet match. With Orange Cassidy.
Where we saw the return, where we saw the second time in a night.
Hold on, stop it. Hold on.
Okay, holding.
As we go through this match, we have to make an announcement that there were some surprise entrances.
Oh, yes, very true.
Oh, yes.
One of them was a hell of a surprise, and the other one was kind of leaked by the dirt sheets. But yes, okay, continue.
I was going to say, we got a nice big old surprise of one Christian Cage making a second match in a row at All In. Hilarious. Because it's such like, I love his heel work. I'm a huge fan of it. I love what they're doing with him.
He's a good heel.
And it just makes it even better that he was the one ultimately, spoiler alert, he was the one who ultimately won the Casino Gauntlet match. So that was wonderful, but I do want to give it to Cross to go and chat through the one that was kind of spoiled, but it's still big nonetheless.
So we had Orange Cassidy, Okada, Nigel McGuinness, Kyle O'Reilly, Zack Sabre Jr., Roderick Strong, Mark Briscoe, Hangman Page, Luchasaurus, Christian Cage, and Cross. You want to give him the last two?
Well, first of all, you skipped over Jeff Jarrett.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say.
He's not a surprise. He's not a surprise.
To me, that was a surprise.
He's an active wrestler on the roster. What the hell are you talking about?
I love seeing the OGs come out in a match,
The original surprise of the match.
Back in my day. I love the old school guys.
The biggest surprise of the match was the return of a former ROH World Champion who has not stepped foot in the ring since probably around 2011.
Ooh.
Making his return at home, Mr. Nigel McGuinness.
That was a big surprise.
Yes, that was a big surprise.
Yeah, that was a big one.
And it was funny. I was
like, oh, Jeff Jarrett's a pretty big surprise too, for me.
I was just watching Nigel McGuinness's matches versus Kurt Angle on TNA.
Yeah,
back in like from 2009 and 2010, 11.
Desmond Wolf.
Yep.
When he became a part of Fortune. Probably the greatest offshoot of the Four Horsemen that's ever been created.
So
it was a wonderful faction.
It was.
And let's not forget the last surprise of the match. The one surprise. And only, the husband of Samantha. Ricochet.
That's how we know him as nowadays. Well, they're not married yet.
Well, true. They're engaged.
Not married yet,
They're engaged. But Ricochet. I didn't think he was going to come out as Ricochet. I guess WWE didn't steal that patent real quick.
That's the surprising part. How did he retain the name to Ricochet?
I think it wasn't WWE to begin with, though. They picked him up as Ricochet. He was Prince Puma only in Lucha Underground. He was never Prince Puma anywhere else. He was always Ricochet everywhere else.
I would have loved to see Puma return, but Ricochet, the fact that he was able to hold his name and leave is a big, well, whatever. Like you just said, WWE didn't own the name, but
no.
Just seeing him continue with that lineage and WWE saying, hey, no, it's ours. You're not allowed to use it.
Wait, they're like, what?
You're not allowed to use it. It's ours. It's our name. I said, come on, WWE does it to everybody.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore.
Get video courtesy.
Now they don't.
They don't do that anymore.
Now they don't. They announced that recently, like maybe a couple months ago. They announced that. Mm-hmm. Well, like you said, Christian Cage won with a guaranteed title opportunity. Does he cash in later on in the evening? We'll find out. We don't know. But I graded it an A. I thought it was a pretty good matchup, especially seeing Cage win at the end. You know, I'm a big.
It was a very fun match. I love watching Nigel McGuinness and Zack Sabre Jr. go at it. You know, even Hangman Page was like going ballistic during the match until he got smacked in the head by Jeff Jarrett with the guitar. Yeah. He got El Kabonged.
I always love that anyone who takes the Jeff. I always love that anyone who takes the Jeff Jarrett guitar shot. It's always sold so very well, and that's been a thing for decades now. I love that it's been a consistent thing that I haven't seen a bad Jeff Jarrett guitar shot.
Even when he did it to Beetlejuice back in the day, it was a good shot.
Was great.
That was like one of the most infamous ones.
It was great.
All right, so what did you guys rate? What did you guys rate the match?
Oh no, this was definitely an A. Just because the star power alone and the actual, back and forth between everyone getting involved, it was a great match.
So, Ricochet hasn't been seen. Ricochet got let go when? Less than about a month and a half ago? Not that long ago.
First off, he didn't get let go.
His contract didn't get renewed.
Expired. His contract expired.
Yeah.
No, it was like June. It was much.
It was recent.
It was like June.
The only reason I'm saying May is because of the 90 day.
No, that's where I was trying to get at. So is the 90 day still a thing?
It might have been, yeah. It may have been.
The 90 day is still a thing until next year.
Okay, that's where I was trying to get at because I remember hearing that they were going to get rid of it and that
they're not getting rid of it.
They will get rid of it.
Forced to get rid of it.
Yeah.
There's a big
yes.
difference.
You're right. There's a big difference.
Well, it's just a way for it's also just a legal way, from what I see, it's a legal way for companies to avoid the whole thing of like contract tampering. So
True.
yeah.
All right. So hold on. Before we get into the next match, tell us what the 90-day is, Cross.
The 90-day non-compete clause. So what that means is normally when you leave an organization, depending on your contract terms, you cannot compete for a competitor for at least 90 days.
See, I always thought of it as a good thing for that 90-day clause because it's like it gives fans a chance to miss you. Like every week, every time Roman showed up in the past like 3 years, I felt like he had a 90-day clause because he didn't show up for 90 days.
Oh, here we go.
Gave the chance, gave everyone an opportunity to miss him, and then he shows up again. So next match, AEW American Championship, Will Ospreay versus the one and only MJF, my fellow New Yorker, Long Island native.
By the way,
American champion.
This match was sponsored by Assassin's Creed Shadows.
You're right, it was.
Available November 15th on
what
all
an awesome
major
entrance.
platforms.
On all platforms.
What an awesome entrance for Will Ospreay. What an awesome entrance.
That entrance was legit. I think that was probably my favorite entrance of the night.
Oh, hold on, but MJF was rocking the Lex Luger fit.
He was rocking the Lex Luger fit.
He was rocking that Lex Luger fit.
I don't care about that. Dude, this entrance was dope. And the fact that they had the narrator of the game narrate his entrance was even better.
You're right. Yeah, that was pretty dope.
And the color scheme, chap, you would appreciate it. The color scheme is the current TCR color scheme.
Yeah, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
The red, black, and gold.
The red, black, and gold.
It was definitely a dope. It was definitely a dope. We could expect figures to drop later on, in the year or so. Some Supreme figures.
They did have the Will Ospreay figure on AEW shop.
Oh, they did. They dropped it.
It's $50, and I was not gonna buy that. But it's $10 shipping.
But it's also it's at a 3,000 though, isn't it?
Huh?
It's at a 3,000.
Yeah, it's limited edition, yeah. But I couldn't justify the $50.
$60.
But you can add it to your wall.
I couldn't justify it.
You can only justify it when I find the what's it called?
Yeah.
All right, so hold on, yo. What about MJF hitting a crossroads?
Not the first time.
I know.
Yeah, it is.
It's a little middle finger. It's a good middle finger,
It's not a middle finger at all. He loves
coming from MJF. It's a middle finger.
No, he's a Cody guy.
Finger.
He's a Cody guy.
He's always been a Cody guy.
All right, fine.
Quit trying to turn things when there isn't anything to turn.
Listen, I will churn this butter as much as possible. I will be churning it.
I don't know why people are saying this, but I love the American Championship.
Same. I think it was beautiful.
It was the dopest title.
I was saying, well, first off, shout out to Red Leather for that belt. He did an amazing job creating that belt. But I will say, I wanted MJF to retain because I wanted that belt to stay around a little bit longer.
We weren't getting replicas of it, but I would have loved to see it.
No.
Stay around a little longer. At this rate, we're never getting any AEW replica belts because they don't even have them. Like they rarely come out, and they're crazy expensive.
They dropped the V3 of the AEW World Championship.
Only 50 examples though of it at Wembley.
They said there was like a whole shipping, error or whatever happened, so they only had 50 of them in total. But anyway, it's cool to see them, but the match in itself for MJF and Will Ospreay was awesome. That is like storytelling central right there.
Wasn't the match of the night? No, was not the match of the night.
Oh, it was up there.
No, it was up there. It was up there.
I'd say it was match number 3 of the night. I was going to say match number 3 of the night. Yeah,
because is the next match the match of the night for you guys? Mercedes Moné versus Dr. Britt Baker for the TBS Championship.
I think we need to talk about that in a little bit because I need to prepare myself mentally for that match.
All right. We will talk about that match when we get back from the break. Stay tuned for more Inside the 20 by 20. Step into the ring with TCRnetwork.co, your ultimate destination for everything pro wrestling. Whether you're a diehard fan or new to the Squared Circle, TCRnetwork.co has you covered from the latest news, in-depth analysis, and it is also the proud host of Inside the 20 by 28 Pro Wrestling Podcast. From breaking stories to match highlights, get all the action you crave in one place. Join the community, stay ahead of the game, and never miss a moment of the excitement. Visit tcrnetwork.co, where wrestling lives. And we are back to AEW All in London, and this is Cross's match of the night. Mercedes Moné versus Dr. Britt Baker, DMD for the TBS Championship belt. Cross, tell us why you love this match so much.
Oh my God.
I love this match extraordinarily so much. It was probably the match of the century.
I know.
It was an okay match. I kind of feel like
that's putting it nicely.
They were wrestling scared.
Yeah, I agree.
Like they were being so extra cautious to not hurt each other because they're both so fragile.
Was this Britt's first match back? It was, right? Was it?
No, this was her first match back. No, this is her first big match back.
Oh, okay.
Right. But she's been wrestling on TV. I think she had 2 matches since she's been back.
Okay.
When did Mercedes last have a match?
She might have had a match on Collision.
Okay.
I honestly don't remember.
Because I know her matches have been a bit more scarce the last few weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, scarce is a good way of putting Roman Reigns. Sorry. Continue. What were you saying? Sorry.
Dude, hold on. RENT hyphen F.
What are you spelling?
He's saying rent-free. Roman stays rent-free in my brain. But back to AEW. That's what we're here to talk about. Some all-in. Moné gets the win over Baker to retain the title. I guess I did see that coming. I did see a Moné win, unfortunately, because I love Britt. But then again, I love Sasha. Moné hasn't sold me yet. I don't know about you guys.
Also make a point.
I mean,
can I also make a point?
CEO and the boss is the same person.
I know it's the same person, but it's like saying.
No, I mean it's the same gimmick. It's the same. There's no difference.
Well, it's executed differently.
Is it though?
It is a little bit because even when Sasha was a heel in WWE, it's not the same. There's a different. I mean, I guess because you could say seasoned veteran at this point, but like there's just a whole different attitude to it. It doesn't feel the same. Yes, it's the same gimmick, but it's just executed in a different way. I don't know how to put my finger on it, but it's just from my view, it's not the boss.
It's not
from WWE that we're watching on AEW as the CEO.
Maybe because there's no theatrics behind it. There's no grander stage around it. I don't know. There's something about it.
Snoop Dogg didn't make her entrance music,
and that's probably a big part of it too. Shout out to Snoop, DOWG. But I remember I was reading up on some of this match earlier prior to the start of our podcast, and the match got graded like a B-. I didn't even think it even touched B. That was kind of sorry.
That was a nice rating. I mean, I would have given it honestly a C+.
They probably were getting paid by Tony not to give Moné.
I kind of felt like there were a lot of botches in the match as well.
Yeah, same.
There were a lot, but it's kind of it goes back to what you said, Cross, when it looked like they were wrestling scared. Like just I don't know. Again, like yeah, you kind of hit it right there with the wrestling scared. It was always. It feels I don't know. It just felt like neither of them were giving it their all because we've seen them at their best.
But do you think it was the forced story that was attached to it that caused this? Like,
I kind of feel like this should have been the dream match that everybody wanted.
That's what I'm trying to say. It should have been a bigger match because of all the stuff that's been going on behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. Like there's actual beef behind the two of them. But it's like when they get in the ring and it's like it's like all bark and no bite.
Well, and that's the problem. They both are that egoistic that they would rather hurt the match than move the story along. And I kind of feel like they both probably had that in the back of my mind. Oh, she's gonna screw me. She's gonna screw me. So let me screw her before. And that's not how you make something like this work. I mean, just look at a perfect example: Edge and Matt Hardy. Mm-hmm. That was a real life. Oh, I'm going to kill this dude on sight. And when they brought Matt Hardy back, they were able to make it something.
Yeah. I mean, it's all a matter of professionalism at the end of the day. And I'm not saying that I mean, some people might disagree that neither Mercedes nor Britt are unprofessional, but that's kind of how you make it work. You take real life unfortunate shit that happens and you say, okay, how can we turn this into product?
Fortunate.
Basically, we need to put our personal feelings aside because right now we're doing it what's best for the business. So it's basically that. Oh boy, I mean, Bingo has something to say about it too. But yes, it's definitely.
Bingo's like, I give it a B.
He gives it a B. He gives it a B for Bingo.
I give it a wolf.
I give it a wolf.
All right, so let's move on to the next match, which honestly, for me, was probably my match of the night. And we know why. We're going to get into it. I'm not going to lie, though. I'm a little upset about this major event that happened in this match. I
Can I be the one to do the impression? Okay, can I be the one to do the impression, or Cross, do you want to do it?
Go for it. You got one of you. One of you guys do it. It's he just broke his microphone.
You know,
I did.
So it was a coffin match. Jack Perry, the TNT champion, versus Darby Allin. Jack definitely retains the title. That's fine. I like what he did with the belt. I like the fact that he melted the one down and created a new one and cut it up and he just made it like a beautiful custom version of a belt. I love the belt. I love what he did with it. But it was the return of Sting to save Darby Allin. Now, what I was upset about is I'm hoping Sting just comes back in a manager sense, because everything I purchased last year that said Sting's last match on it kind of goes out the window.
Are you afraid he's going to pull a Ric Flair?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm afraid of.
A fake retirement?
Because then I got to buy last match round 2 merch all year. But guys, what did you think about the match?
It was a good match.
I thought it was good.
It was very good between those two.
They have good. Have good chemistry.
They do.
They do, and I do love that they went as far. And this is how you know AEW's petty, where they brought the glass.
Yeah,
that was. Yes. It's so petty that it made it good, but it's cheeky, so it's funny. It added to the match.
But is it really petty though? Because that's how he got his name, the Scapegoat. So it kind of works for his gimmick. It's
petty, and I'll say why. Because it's the 1-year anniversary.
Oh, very true.
What better way to celebrate it? What better way to celebrate it than actually use real glass? Which is what he wanted to do last year, but we know what happened. We don't need to dive into it. But that was a very petty way of reminding the fans why we need to boo Jack Perry. Because at the end of the day, he is the heel in this story. So what better way to get the crowd over? But I'll say on that same note also that I am mad at the Wembley crowd because their response to it was to chant FCM Punk.
Yeah. Well,
and I'm like, you guys are the exact.
Well, why would you get mad at them for that?
Because those are the same fans that if Punk rolled around, they would pop off their seats.
Oh, 100%. But that's wrestling fans in general. They are a toxic bunch.
That, though.
They like to complain.
Hold on. I'll give you a perfect example of why that's okay. Right? Mm-hmm. Look at the guy beneath me, or to the right of me, or to the left of me, wherever his box is, right?
He's usually in the middle. He's usually in the middle.
So look at that guy, right?
Me.
He was the biggest Roman Reigns hater.
I still am.
Even though I
love to hate him, though. I love to hate him.
Footage of him acknowledging his tribal chief at MSG.
Millions of people watching, with millions of fans and viewers watching the show, they saw
millions upon
when Roman Reigns returned at SummerSlam, what was the first thing he did?
Oh, he posted about it.
He popped.
I didn't pop.
Even though it wasn't on television, it wasn't recorded on a podcast.
This is why my reactions don't make it to what's it called that much? Instagram or TikTok, because
he didn't want to
know how I truly feel about Roman.
I can personally replicate the champ's exact reaction to it right now.
Oh, what? Roman's they dropped the Roman belt? Let me go buy that belt.
Yeah, he bought the belt. That's his reaction.
He bought the belt.
But
you spent money on Roman Reigns.
Did I buy the belt for my own collection, or did I buy it to sell it to a Roman Reigns fan for quadruple the price?
Why did you buy
it? We'll never know. Oh,
Wait, but why did you buy the glove?
I bought the glove before of the tribal chief.
Anyway,
you weren't a fan of the big dog either.
No, I was. I liked him back then.
Oh,
anyway,
Going back to my old posts, let's get back into AEW. But going back to my old posts, I did like him a little bit. Whatever. We'll get into that in another episode of Inside.
That deserves its own podcast.
Why the champ hates Roman Reigns? He just likes Roman Reigns.
He likes Roman Reigns. He loves it.
It gets deep. That's why it gets deep.
He loves him.
Back to it. Shout out to Darby Allin because Darby, listen, love him or hate him, I love him. That guy puts his body
so much
beyond. He doesn't need to do half or a quarter of what he does.
Hold on. Darby Allin is this generation's
Mick Foley. Yeah, 100%.
I was gonna say Jeff Hardy, but yes.
No,
probably both.
No, he got the agility of Jeff Hardy, but he's Mick Foley, true and true.
He's the best of both.
The difference is Jeff didn't want to get hurt. Mick Foley was fine with getting hurt.
That's what I'm saying. He's a mixture of the two.
Jeff just happened to get hurt in the process.
Well, no, but it's funny because Jeff never really got hurt anyway. But yes, Darby is a great combination of the two, and you are correct. He is he does way too much for what he's needed to, but overall, it's always great TV.
He's the little guy. He has to show up and show out. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. That's true. And I do have two figures of Sting and Darby Allin holding the AEW championships up top. Take champions up top.
I do love the match though. The match was really done well. It was shorter than I expected. It was shorter than I expected it to be.
And Sting looked really good because like earlier on in the week they posted a picture of him and he let his hair gray, his beard gray out, and I was like, oh man, he's really showing his age. Like I felt it. I heard, for me, I'm a Sting fan for like 30 years now, and then seeing him like that, I was like, oh, that's kind of hurtful. Then seeing him tonight, I'm like, damn, what did he do? Take some rejuvenation potion?
No, it's called face paint and hair dye.
And it works. And so you're saying makeup and hair dye works. But with that, let's move into the final match of the evening. The AEW World Championship match. Swerve Strickland, the AEW champion, versus Bryan Danielson. I always want to call him Daniel Bryan. For the title.
And the return of Jim Ross on commentary.
The return of Jim Ross on commentary. But mainly, I did not expect Bryan Danielson to win the belt. I thought Swerve was going to retain.
I did. Why would you doubt the American Dragon?
Because Swerve got such a great response of becoming champion, and he's been champion for how long? Like what, a couple of months now?
Yeah,
like 4 months, 5 months.
And so for me, it's like, I felt it was going to be a little bit of a longer run. I didn't expect. But listen, I love Bryan Danielson, American Dragon, Daniel Bryan, yes movement, no movement, eco-friendly mode. I've always been a fan of Bryan Danielson.
Right, but this is his last year, so this is only a title opportunity.
I guess.
But it had to give
overall, it also worked out very well because now you have a much deeper story to tell a little bit with Bryan Danielson in his retirement year, holding the world championship. And I mean, it was also really cool in a manner. And I mean, I guess you cannot talk about this title win without talking about it being literally the 10th anniversary of Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30.
Correct.
Winning the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Like, it's just two significantly big moments, and both in giant stadiums at the WrestleMania WWE and the WrestleMania of AEW. And then also now this time you had his wife and two kids in attendance right there watching him do it. That was a big moment. That was seeing Brie in the fan. Once you knew Brie was going to be there,
it kind of gave it away.
He was going to win the belt. I was like, oh, the wife shows up. Oh, he's going to win.
Yeah.
Brandy came out with Cody. Oh.
Well, no.
Yeah.
Well, at Mania, at least,
Oh, no, because she came out the first Mania where Cody, and he still lost.
Yeah, but this time around, the difference.
The difference with that one was she was in the crowd. At 40, she came out with him.
Yes, that's where I was getting at.
Yeah, but Brie was in the crowd, so again, his argument is moot.
Mm-hmm. I guess, yeah.
Listen, Carl, hear me out. Listen, you know what? I can't even argue with you because you're right.
No. I give the match a solid A+ because one, storytelling, two, I mean, obviously we know Bryan Danielson in itself is a technical whiz, but also Swerve had to show out as well in that, and he absolutely crushed it. So I have no doubt that he'll be champion again.
Is this a one and done, or is this going to be a continuance? I don't think Swerve. I think it's going to be on to the next.
I think this is going to lead into Danielson dropping to Christian.
Oh
yes,
that's right, because Christian did not cash in
his casino gauntlet,
his Money in the Bank. I mean, his casino gauntlet. Everyone's talking about calling in cash in. It's like all I can think of is the Money in the Bank.
You have WWE
it's the
on
same
the mind.
Concept.
Listen,
it's the same concept. I mean, TNA had their Feast or Fired briefcase thing that they had for matches.
Feast or Fire. I love that concept.
I loved it. I was watching.
It was so unique.
Oh my god! I think I was watching Destination X 2008, and I forgot what it was ultimately, but just it was the anticipation because whenever a wrestler got the briefcase, again, you never knew which briefcase you got. That's what made it hilarious and exciting to watch. They would get to the top of the stage after the match was all done, and they would each open up their briefcase. So that was a fun twist on it.
So I'm sorry, I didn't watch that back in the day. So you're telling me it was like a dealer deal?
They were four titles with 4 briefcases. Yes. So one briefcase you were fired. One was for the World Heavyweight Championship. One was for the Tag Team Championship, and then the other one was for the X Division title.
That's actually pretty funny.
I like that. Wait, hold on. Was it for the Tag Team or was it for the X Division title?
No. So it was World, Tag Team, and X Division and fired. Unless they changed it, because when I used to follow TNA heavy, it was always Tag Team. Because I remember Kurt Angle had won the Tag Team briefcase.
Yes. No, you're absolutely right. You're right.
Good old Kurt Angle. So then overall, AEW, Wembley, and London, what would you guys rate it? In total. I would say B+, because there was more good matches than bad matches.
I would give it an A. Overall.
An
A.
I give it a B.
I mean, they had a lot more good matches than they had bad matches.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Yeah, I that's why I'm sticking with the B because it's that the bad matches kind of we're not going to see the end of the bad matches now because there's going to be a whole slew of internet trolls constantly talking how bad AEW is and their botches and all of this. When in reality, wrestling fans should be happy that we have competition. We have wrestling every day. We have something to watch.
I want to say my reason for a B and one of the reasons why, because I agree with most of it where it was plenty more good matches than bad. There were a couple of things where I was like, okay, predictable. That's fine. One of my biggest things was they had the return of Jamie Hayter at 0 Hour.
Shouldn't that be one of your biggest... But shouldn't they have done that in the actual card, not during the dark matches?
Well, I guess
I want that. I would want that
considering the number of matches that they had, there was probably worry about the time constraints. So they did the safe thing.
I don't know. Well, you could call it safe. I don't know. It's just because I'm like, that's been one of the more anticipated AEW returns of their entire roster
and then not
for
put it on
quite
TV,
a long time now. And they put it for the YouTube pre-show.
Yeah, that kills me. That's a bad decision.
Well,
that is a bad decision.
Hold on, it's not necessarily a bad decision because
now people go to their YouTube.
It's like people like, oh snap, wait, AEW just did this for free. What are they willing to do if you pay for the product?
But how many people actually would sit there and watch the dark matches?
Real wrestling fans.
Real wrestling fans will, but when you're not, but let's be real, we're in an age of, we're not just trying to get, like, I get it, AEW is all about the wrestling, but we're also in an age of, hey, we're trying to make money, we're trying to make it big. We don't want just hardcore fans, we also want a casual fan.
Yeah, but that's not their, that's not the audience they're going for.
It really isn't, you're right.
No, they're really not.
If you look at AEW, it is super indie. That's the term I'm going to use to describe them.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
The casual fan does not know nothing about indie wrestling. Unless they hear something.
Let alone AEW.
Yeah.
Unless they hear something on TV and then they look it up themselves.
True.
And if they're a good casual fan, they'll continue falling into that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It just doesn't sit right. Just because it's like, Like imagine, I don't know, I'm trying to find the right like counterpart to it, but I'm having a hard time thinking right now. But it's just you have one of your best women's wrestlers and you have her make her biggest return because that's one that's always been, where's Jamie Hayter? Where's Jamie Hayter? Where's Jamie Hayter?
And where's she at?
Happened not on the pay-per-view.
Yeah, she's not on the pay-per-view. She's in Zero Dark Hour. But with that, all right, and with that, we are wrapping it up for another episode 11 of Inside the 20 by 20, AEW All In. I'm your host, Mike Gambino, and I'm here with the prodigal son.
Well, thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Happy to be here on episode 11. Want to remind everybody to follow us on all social platforms and make sure to just subscribe to Inside the 20 by 20 wherever you get your podcast listenings or YouTube watchings.
That's it. And our boy, the God Mod himself, Cross.
Visit the website, get the stickers. They're awesome.
Oh, yes, don't forget to hit, and listen, oh yeah, by the way, if you want to purchase anything from the WWE shop, you go to the tcrnetwork.co and you click on the WWE shop link and it'll bring you right there. Why go directly to WWE shop when you can just go to the TCR network? And with that, like our boy GDP always says, until we yeet again.
Thank you for joining us. New episodes of Inside the 20 by 20 will be posted on YouTube and wherever you listen to podcasts every Monday morning. Inside the 20 by 20 is a GDP production and brought to you by the TCR Network. Go to tcrnetwork.co for more information. For business inquiries, please email inside the 20 by 20 at gmail.com.